Narama Govinda Narayana Keshava Madhava Hari Narayana Keshava Madhava Hari Narayana Narama Govinda Narayana Shri Venu Gopala Krishna Shri Venu Gopala Krishna Madhava Madhusudana Madhava Madhusudana Narama Govinda Narama Govinda Narayana सच्चिदानंद भगवान की The greatest of the jnanis in this world, the greatest of the thinkers, devotees, Mahatmas, especially of Bharat, have time and again proclaimed that the sweetest, most sweet experience in the world is the utterance of the name of the Paramatma. Madhuram, Madhuram, Madhuram. Sweetest. We may have tasted sugar, we may have tasted honey, we may have tasted even more sweeter things than that, but nothing is more sweeter than the utterance of the Nama of Paramatma. This has been repeatedly said by the great Mahatmas, and this sweetness is not limited to the tongue, it's not limited to the taste buds. When something sweet touches the taste bud, we do experience a pleasure, and that pleasure is called sweetness. It is one among the Shad Rasas. Katvamla Lavana Madhura Tikshna Kashaya. Katva Amla Lavana. These are the Shad Rasas. Among these rasas, one rasa is Madhura. But when you utter the name of Paramatma with devotion, it is a mixture of all the rasas and every single, even the sentimental rasas, like Sringara, all the rasas come together when you utter the name of Paramatma with deep involvement, absolute involvement. So in the Kali Yuga, there is no other more meaningful and powerful activity than utterance of the Nama of Paramatma. That is why we find everywhere, all over Bharat, right from time immemorial, whenever the occasion arises, the Mahatmas would say, chant the name of Paramatma. In any manner you want, chant the name, keep chanting. Namasmaranam, Namasmaranam, Namasmaranam. So we find that Bhagavatam is also going to tell us the same thing only now. very gradually you will see that the sweetness of the name of Paramatma is going to be, once again it's going to be deeply described to us. Now we are in the prasanga where the question was asked by Shaunaka, Adi Rishis to Suta Rishi, to describe everything in detail. Now Suta Rishi very gladly is going to describe that. We have read the Sanskrit portion, now we will read the English portion. Suta replied, in the Dvapara age, the third yuga of the present Chatur Yuga, the period of 4 yugas from Satya to Kali, the great yogi Vyasa, who is a part manifestation of Sri Hari, was born of Satyavati, who had sprung from the seed of Uparichara Vasu through the sage Parashara. ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಮಧುರವಾದದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಋಷಿಗಳು, ಮಹಾತ್ಮರು, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು, ಓದಿರುವವರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಧುರವಾಗಿರುವುದು ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಜೇನುತುಪ್ಪ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮಧುರವಾದದ್ದು ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇವರ ನಾಮಸ್ಮರಣೆ. ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಆನಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ದೇವರ ನಾಮವನ್ನು ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಆನಂದವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತೀವೋ, ಈ ಆನಂದ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಿಹಿ ತಿಂಡಿ ತಿಂದ ಬರೋ ಆನಂದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಜೇನುತುಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಯಿಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾವಿನ ಹಣ್ಣು ತಿನ್ನಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ರಸವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೋ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತಲೂ ಆನಂದವಾದ ಅನುಭವ ಬಂದು ದೇವರ ನಾಮವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ದೇವರ ನಾಮವನ್ನು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ನೆಪ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ನೋಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರೇ ತಾನೆ. ವಂಶೀಕೃಷ್ಣ, ಭರತ, ಪ್ರಭುಲಿಂಗದೇವ, ಪ್ರಭುದೇವ, ನಂದೀಶ, ನಂಜುಂಡ, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕೇಶವ, ಲಿಂಗಯ್ಯ, ಯಾರು ಚಂದು ಅಂದರೆ ಚಂದ್ರನ ಹೆಸರು, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ದೇವರ ಹೆಸರೇ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು. ಏನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ? ಕರೆದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇವರ ನಾಮ ಬರಬೇಕು ಬಾಯಿಂದ ಅಂತ. All the names of the children, everything are kept according to the names of Paramatma, so that some excuse or the other you will keep on repeating the name of Paramatma. That is the beauty of Bharatiya culture. It is not just Kapola Kalpita Nama, it is not just Tom, Dick and Harry. I am repeating. It is not just Tom, Dick and Harry, and you have to look at the dictionary to find out the name. Here it is simple and straightforward. God's name, that's all. So simple it is. So that you repeatedly call the God name, your tongue will become pure. Your mind will become pure. You will be reminded of Paramatma's Leelas. That was the main reason for Namakaranam. Namakaranam is in order to keep reminding us of Paramatma. So here Suta Rishi has started saying that in those days, in the Dvapara Yuga. Now we know that there are 4 yugas. First yuga is called Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga. The first yuga is called as Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga. This particular yuga method of measuring time is very special to Bharat. This method of measuring time according to the yugas is very, very typical, specific to Bharat only, and the length of time which they have included in this particular yuga parimana is very, very mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So many times, although we have said this once, again it is very, very interesting to say this, that one day of Brahma, that is 24 hours of a human being, we call it one day. So 12 hours of Brahma is equal to 1000 Chatur Yugas. That is 1000 into 43,20,000 years is 1/2 a day of Brahma. Is it not mind-blowing? So you multiply it into 2, you get 1 full day of Brahma, 43,20,000 into 1000 into 2 is equal to 1 day of Brahma. And Brahma has 360 days in 1 year, and the age of Brahma is 120 Brahma years. And thousands and lakhs of millions of Brahmas have come and gone already, and still do not know how many more are going to come. ಈ ಯುಗ ಪರಿಮಾಣ ಎಂಬ ಪರಿಮಾಣ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಪರಿಮಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮಾನವಾದ ಪರಿಮಾಣವು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಯಾರೂ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಥ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಪರಿಮಾಣವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವರಿಗೆ, ಈ ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡುವ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಧ ದಿನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ 1,000 ಚತುರ್ಯುಗಗಳು ಅಂದರೆ 43,20,000 ವರ್ಷವನ್ನು 1,000ದಿಂದ ಗುಣ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದು ಅರ್ಧ ದಿವಸ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಿಗೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ 2ರಿಂದ ಗುಣ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ 1 ದಿವಸ ಆಯಿತು. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವರ 1 ವರ್ಷ ಬಂದು 360 ದಿವಸ. ಅದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ 360ದಿಂದ ಗುಣ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು 120ರಿಂದ ಗುಣ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವರ ಆಯುಷ್ಯ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವರ ಆಯುಷ್ಯ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಗಳು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲೆಕ್ಕವಿಲ್ಲದಷ್ಟು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಬಂದು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲ ಕಳೆದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲ ಕಳೆದಿದೆ. ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ಡ್ ನೋಬಡಿ ನೋಸ್. No human being is able to even comprehend how much time has passed, how much space is there. That is the Anantatva of Paramatma. See how mysterious it is. We have all this cosmos to think about. We have all this beautiful to meditate upon, so much magnanimous, so unlimited time, and all that we think about is I. See the difference, see the vast difference. You have all the time and capacity to think about the cosmos and the glory of the cosmos and all the unlimited time of Paramatma. And all the mind does is, what about me? What about me? What about me? This is mine. I am more important. That's how we shrink, completely we shrink. We limit ourselves to not even 2 feet by 2 feet on the ground. And 5 feet are tall. That much we limit ourselves. We have all the capacity to expand. So this is the Paramatma's Anantatva, infinity. ಇದೆಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮನುಷ್ಯನೇ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾನು. ಜಗಳ ಆಡಿದಾಗ ನಂದು ಇದು ಬಡಿಯೋದು ನಂದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಂದು ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಮನಸ್ಸೇ ಬರಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಲೀಲೆ, ಮಾಯೆಯ ಲೀಲೆ ಇದು. ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬರೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಋಷಿಗಳು ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಬಿಚ್ಚಪ್ಪ, ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡು, ಸಂಕುಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಆಗಬೇಡ, ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡು. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಟು ಮಚ್ shrunk always. Expand your mind and think about God. Instead of trying to show that I know about the cosmos, I know about time and everything, simply meditate upon Paramatma and chant His names. Automatically your mind will expand. So Paramatma's Leela, the Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. So in the Dwapara Yuga, Bhagavan Vedavyasa Rishi was born from a fisherwoman by name Satyavati. Once again we should remember. Born from a fisherwoman Satyavati and by the sage Parashara Rishi. Details are going to be told to us in detail. This is just an introduction. Vedavyasa Rishi was born to Parashara Rishi, the father, and Satyavati, the mother. Satyavati was a fisherwoman. So much he has told us. Let us see what further they say. Vedavyasa was a part manifestation of Bhagavan Hari. That is, he is an avatar of Bhagavan Hari. One day, after taking his bath in the sacred water of the Saraswati, he sat in a lonely place just at sunrise. No more details are given. Bhagavan Vedavyasa was born from Satyavati, and afterwards you will come to know how he was born, in what manner he was born. Everything will be told in detail. One day he was sitting down on the bank of the sacred water of the Saraswati. When you say Saraswati, you know, in the present day Prayagraj, where Triveni Sangam is there, where the Kumbh Mela takes place. So there we have 3 rivers joining together, Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ವೇದವ್ಯಾಸರು, ಸತ್ಯವತಿ ತಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ವೇದವ್ಯಾಸರು, ಅವರು ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನದಿಯ ದಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತು ಸೂರ್ಯನನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಂತೆ. ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನದಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಗಂಗಾ, ಯಮುನಾ, ಸರಸ್ವತಿ 3 ನದಿಗಳು ಬಂದು ಉತ್ತರ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯಾಗರಾಜ ಎಂಬ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸೇರುತ್ತವೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಭಮೇಳ ನಡೆಯೋದು. The sage who had an unfailing eye and could read the past as well as the future saw how, by flux of time which passed unnoticed, there ensued in every age an overlapping of duties, as a result of which the potency of material objects had diminished and people had grown irreverent, weak, dull-witted and short-lived. So Bhagavan Vedavyasa is sitting down and he is meditating. He's seeing that the sunrise, morning 6 a.m., beautiful time. He sees the sun and he can see the past, present and the future. He has the ability to see the past, present and future, and he sees how the capacity of the human beings has diminished, how it was very high in Satya Yuga, how it became a little lesser in Treta Yuga. Now he is in the Dwapara Yuga, how it has become still lesser, and how it's going to diminish even further. ಅವರು ಕೂತು ಹಿಂಗೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸತ್ಯಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದ ಮನುಷ್ಯರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಮೇಧಾಶಕ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಾಗಿದ್ದರು. ತ್ರೇತಾಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು, ದ್ವಾಪರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಕಲಿಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಗ್ಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಕಲಿಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಶಕ್ತಿನೇ ಇಲ್ಲದಂಗೆ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಥರ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಸೋ ಅನ್ಲಕ್ಕಿ, the sage began to investigate by means of his divine insight as to wherein lay the welfare of men belonging to all the grades of society and stages of life. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ದುಃಖಿತರಾಗಿರುವ ಜನಗಳು, ಈ ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ದುಃಖಿತರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ದಾರಿ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಸಬು ಸೇರಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪೂಜಾರ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡೋರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬಡಗಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಲೋಹಕಾರರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಕುಂಬಾರರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾದವರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾರೇ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದೇ ದಾರಿ ಯಾವುದು? ದೇ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್. Is there any one way by which all these people will be able to have a more meaningful life? A more meaningful life, a more blissful life. Is there any way? He is thinking about that. Perceiving that Vedic offerings, which are performed through the agency of 4 priests, namely the Hota, the Adhvaryu, the Udgata and the Brahma, are the purifiers of men, he divided the one Veda into 4 for the continuance of offerings. Now you see, on this day in the year 2020, we are in the 21st century. In this century you see how many people even abroad, they all are now trying to find the meaning of the Vedic offerings, homas and havanas, and they are trying to come to Bharat and study this in more in detail and then understand this particular system of offering to God. ವಿದೇಶದಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಬಂದು ಈ ವೈದಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು, ನೀವು ನೋಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ಇಟಲಿಯಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬಂದು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಅವ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬಂದು ಹಣ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಹಣ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಹಣ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಬಹಳ ಇದೆ, ತುಂಬ ಹಣ ಇದೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ, ತುಂಬ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೋದೇನಕ್ಕೆ? ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಎ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಭಾರತ್ಸ್ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ಹೆರಿಟೇಜ್. They know that there is a special Shakti in Bharat. With all the discrepancies, with all the defects in the society of Bharat, still the foreigners want to come here and study and then go understand Bharat, because there is some hidden meaning in all these Vedas. So Vedavyasa Rishi understood that if these Vedic offerings could be once again revived, which is slowly being left away, so he understood that the one single Veda is very difficult for people to understand, so he divided the Vedas into 4 parts. And he gave them to 4 disciples. He gave the Vedas to 4, that is why he is called as Veda Vyasa. Veda Vyasa means the one who actually expanded, or the one who divided the Vedas and gave it to the disciples, Veda Vyasa Rishi. Rig Veda, he thus separated the Veda, 4 Vedas under the names Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda and Atharva Veda. And the Itihasas and the Puranas are called the 5th Veda. Now we normally say 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, and the Itihasas. 2 Itihasas are the main ones, epics, Ramayanam and Mahabharatam. They are called as Panchama Veda. 5th Veda, because what we are reading now is the Puranas. The Puranas together, Ramayana, Mahabharatam, they form the Itihasas. So through this only the Vedas are understood. ಅಂದರೆ 4 ವೇದಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅವರು ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, 4 ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅದಲ್ಲದೆ ಈ ಇತಿಹಾಸಗಳನ್ನು, ಪುರಾಣಗಳನ್ನು ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಏನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ? ಇದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಬಾಳಬಹುದು. So that we read these things, understand the tenets, understand the instructions given in this one and lead a much more meaningful life. That is why he divided the Vedas. Once again, it is necessary for us to remember the glory of our culture. Just go through, just randomly, I'm saying very randomly, you open the internet, the latest information, information archive. Open it and put just how old are the Vedas. You will see that it is minimum 5,000 years according to what man can find out. Minimum 5,000 years old, and till today it is surviving. Even at that time there was no printing, there was no writing. How could they transfer the Vedas from time to time today and come to this stage today? Because of the potency in that one. So much power is there in those Vedas. 5,000 ವರ್ಷ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ 5,000 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಮೇಲಾಗಿದೆ ವೇದಗಳಿಗೆ. ಇಂದಿನವರೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಅವಾಗ ಬರವಣಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮುದ್ರಣೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಿಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬಂತು ಇದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಪುಸ್ತಕನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಸ್ವರ ವೇದ ಮಂತ್ರ ಪುಸ್ತಕನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಆಶ್ರಮದಿಂದ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೋ ಪುಸ್ತಕನೂ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಾಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳಿ, ಕಿವಿಯಿಂದ ಕೇಳು, ಕಂಠಪಾಠ ಮಾಡು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳು. ಹಂಗಿತ್ತು, ಅಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಮೆಮರಿ ಪವರ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್. That is how the Vedas have been transferred from time memorial. Of these, Paila, one disciple's name is Paila. The first disciple of Veda Vyasa is Paila. Paila was taught the Rig Veda. The seer Jaimini, the second disciple Jaimini, was the first who learned how to chant the Samaveda, while Vaishampayana was the only one who mastered the Yajurveda. So 3 disciples, he is given 3 parts. The sage Sumantu, son of Daruna Rishi, acquired proficiency in the Atharvaveda, while my father, Sutarishi is saying, my father Romaharshana gained mastery over the Itihasas and Puranas. The 5 people, 5 disciples have been given 5 parts of the knowledge. Paila Rishi, he got the Rig Veda, Jaimini got the Yajurveda, and then Vaishampayana got the Samaveda, Vaishampayana got the Yajurveda, that is Jaimini got the Samaveda, Sumantu got the Atharvaveda, and Suta Rishi's father Romaharshana, he got the Itihasas and the Puranas. These latter sages, Paila and others, divided their respective Vedas into more than one branches. Whenever we say the Abhivadaye, when we say Angirasa, Barhaspatya, we say, isn't it? This is the further division. This is called as the further division. The first division was 4 divisions, and then whichever Veda, which Veda do you belong to, for example? Maybe the Samaveda or the Rig Veda or Yajur. Then again Shakhas, Pratishakhas. They were divided further and further and further. That's why we got all these Shakha, Pratishakha. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಒಂದು ವೇದವನ್ನು 4 ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಆ 4 ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಋಷಿಗಳು ಇನ್ನೂ ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರವರ ಶಿಷ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಬೋಧಿಸಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಶಾಖೆಗಳು ಬಂದವು, ವೇದಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಶಾಖೆಗಳು ಬಂದವು. In this way, through their pupils and the pupils of these latter, the 4 Vedas came to be divided into so many branches. The divine Vyasa, who is compassionate to men of poor wits, evidently did so in order that even the dull-witted might be able to retain the Vedas in parts. Ultimately, why did he do that? The division of the Vedas, it was done in order to make sure that people could understand and practice something. One has to practice some good so that one lives a meaningful life, and also coexistence is there, isn't it? One has to coexist. It is not that I alone live. One has to live with others. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಒಂಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಾಳಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬೇಕೇ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗಾರರು ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ವ? ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಳೋರು ಇದ್ರೆ ತಾನೇ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಾಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗಪ್ಪ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಸಹಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಬಾಳಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಭಗವಂತನಾದ ವೇದವ್ಯಾಸರು ಆ ವೇದ ಎಂಬ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ರಾಶಿಯನ್ನು 4 ಭಾಗಗಳಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇತಿಹಾಸಗಳನ್ನು, ಪುರಾಣಗಳನ್ನು ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಈ ಲೋಕಕ್ಕೆ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಭಗವಂತನಾದ ವೇದವ್ಯಾಸ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಶ್ರೀಮನ್ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಶ್ರೀಮನ್ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಭಜಮನ್ನಾರಾಯಣ नारायण 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 बद्री नारायण 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 शिवानंद भगवान की ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांतिः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु